Hey guys, it's Dan from Soileater and welcome back to our One Take Wednesday series. Today on episode 13, I'll be going over what is inside my SWAT IFAK located on my battle belt. So to start things off, this isn't going to be a whole belt review on what exactly is on the belt completely. If you want to know more about that, head over to the belt video, which I did, which is on one of the other episodes. But real quick, the IFAK I am using is a Coyote tactical STOMP. Great IFAK. This is probably around at least a second, probably the third generation of IFAK. There's another one, a newer one that Jesus over at Coyote Tactical Solutions makes, which has a insertable IR or reflective card. This is the older version that has the Velcro, but they hold up so well that I haven't switched over yet to the new one. But real quick, I'm just going to dive into where I keep it on my belt, where it's located, and then we'll pull it off and go over all the contents of it. So it is mounted on the Ronin Tactics belt. If here's 12 o'clock for me, it is mounted exactly at the 6 o'clock. All right, so I keep it right on the small of the back like your mom's tattoo. Real quick, we're gonna pull it off of here and go over the contents. You'll notice, first thing, I don't have any marking symbolizing that is an IFAK, that there's medical or anything like that. We used to run those and we found that any of the red, right, like the old patches, really stood out in the woods and it kind of wasn't worth having it on there. Everyone on our team runs their primary IFAK right on the small of their back, so we didn't really need it. The people working on us is going to be our teammates as well as our medic, and if you have it mounted all in the same spot, you know, it's pretty unison amongst your team. So you'll notice here that there's a tourniquet holder at the bottom, right? So I'm actually running one tourniquet on the bottom of the IFAK, one in the belt mounted tourniquet holder version 3 up at the front. So that's 2 tourniquets that I can very quickly grab. And the reason I say that is I'm going to be going over something on the inside, and you guys are probably going to be like, well, why do you do that? So I'll explain. All right, so to remove the IFAK, simply hit the male and female buckle. You can see it just kind of popped open. You can either just grab it, or in the middle here, there is a 1-inch piece of webbing that you can grab and pull off, right? So there's hook Velcro on the back, loop Velcro on the side that stays on the belt, and you pull off the IFAK, all right? The reason why I'm going over this is every once in a while I actually replace some of the contents in this IFAK. So you can see here I've got a new bag from North American Rescue full of things like Quick Clot, NPAs, and that type of stuff. So anything that looks a little grungy in here, I'll replace out. You guys probably don't do that as often as you should. It's probably one of the things that are most likely neglected on your kit. You probably take good care of all your other stuff. So just make sure you're going through your IFAK every once in a while, periodically, and switching out components that get beat up. Because even though it's in this nice sealed container, you'll find just from being on the small of your back, getting in and out of vehicles and being in the weather, whether it's storming out and rain or sleet and snow, stuff like that, this stuff in here does take a beating. So I pull it off of there. You'll notice there's a tourniquet on the bottom here. Cat Tourniquet Gen 7 on the bottom. You'll notice here I have both my zippers kind of in the middle, so it's easy to just grab them apart one way or the other. And then you'll notice this opens up completely. First thing you see that kind of pops out at you is going to be some latex gloves, right? So I carry 2 sets. That's 4 gloves for you guys who aren't great at math, all right? Because chances are if you're putting these on quick, they're going to rip open. I've had it happen, trying to work on people on the road, is that they'll rip open. So these right here, I can tell you right now, I'm going to replace these, right? Just like any sort of latex or rubber, they dry rot, and they just being in here and banged around, there might be like some abrasion spots on them. So I replace these pretty regularly. These cost you nothing. You can get them free at work and whatnot, all right? Now, this is where you guys will be like, but why do you do this? And I'll explain it, all right? So in here is a brand new Cat Tourniquet Gen 7. You're gonna be like, Dan, why is it in the wrapper, right? Well, people smarter than me, Chris over at Northern Red, great guy, had a lot of good insight to kind of our tactics and whatnot on our team. We still train with them, hopefully yearly, usually yearly. He's like, hey man, you wanna keep one, that's actually probably how he said it too, hey man, if he hears this video, he's probably gonna beat me up, but keep one in there that's sealed up so it doesn't get any of the weather. Again, like I was talking about with snow and rain and whatnot, I just have a brand new one in here. And again, it is very quick to open up still, right? But ideally, the 2 that I have that are my immediate go-to that I'm going to use on myself are open and out of the package. It just means I have to replace those more regularly. So again, make sure you're looking at your tourniquets and replacing them as needed. Sun damage, weathering, that type of stuff, right? So this one is brand new in the container. All right, and then all I need to do when it's time to replace the one on my belt is I'll take this one, if the packaging is getting a little ripped up, open this up, replace it out with one on the belt, go in my storage here, or you'll order one on North American Rescue or our website, doesn't matter, buy a new one, take that brand new one now and put it in the bag. All right, so just a way to get around that. So this generation Stomp from Coyote Tactical has a bunch of laser cut, I'll hold it up here so you can see it, a bunch of laser cut like lines and holes in there, and it comes with a bunch of shock cord. And what that allows you to do is really rearrange this and arrange this thing however you want. All right, so I'll just show you again. So in there, I've got the shears, right? 14 gauge needle for decompression needle. You can see at the top here, I've got pressure dressing, and then right here is 2 things of quick clot. If you go behind here, you'll see your hyphen seal twin pack, all right? So real quick, you'll be like, what's the duct tape on the shears? If you notice with shears, obviously they have a little rib here, and what that ends up doing is starts to wear a hole in some of your equipment that's in the IFAK. So a quick little sheath of, the Gorilla duct tape there just provides a nice little covering so it protects your IFAK and all the components in it. 14 gauge needle, pretty self-explanatory. Not gonna get into that too much. Even if you're not certified in them and you don't really know how to use it, right? Someone else who might be working on you will know how to use it potentially, right? So it's good to have it on you anyway. If you're in the field and you're not, you can't go right to a trauma center. All right, on one side here behind, and you'll see this needs to be replaced, so don't give me any flack, that's why I'm doing it. I'll pull out here, there's my airway stuff, right? So I've got an NPA with the lube, right? Or you can be like your mom and spit on it. Okay, these are probably gonna be rated R. Anyway, in here you have a hyphen seal twin pack. You can see this is pretty beat up. Again, this is why I'm replacing these, all right? Realistically, I'm probably going to put another twin pack in here. Just based on some experience now, if you've used these in real life, you'll find that the first time you take one of these and open it up, you're gonna stick it all on itself, right? So a lot of the times when guys are going to use these under stress, when people are sweaty and pulling off gear and whatnot, like not surgical room conditions, you'll find in the actual environment, these are very difficult to stick sometimes, especially if you don't practice on them a bunch. So this right here, now that it's all, it's all banged up and it's kind of weathered, this will be my training one. So next time we do any training, I'll use these and just practice taking them out, wiping down a patient and applying them correctly without getting the stick all over itself, all right? On this side, you'll see it's all nice and organized. You've got the shock cord going around and keeping everything nice and organized. You pull out here, you got your 4-inch pressure dressing. Right here, you can see it came out pretty easily. I have it all staged, so it's very easy to now pull apart and use, all right? All this stuff you'll see, I try to set up in here so it's quickly able to be deployed and grabbed out of here and then opened up and used. I go a step further because, I don't know, maybe I'm anal with it. It is what it is. It's just who I am, right? But you'll see both of these quick clots, I have a piece of medical tape above it. And what that allows me to do is grab this, whether it's wet or, I got blood in my hands, it's slimy. It allows me to grip it a little better. And then all I have to do is pull it off, right? So each one of these have the perforation lines on both sides. I have those labeled. It's white so I can see it under low light. And it allows me just to grab it and rip it open. These packages are good though. They do have perforations on each side. So as you can see here, I've got, this one's a combat gauze and this one's combat gauze also. Sometimes they're called different things based on what color the packaging is. But you can see here, these are all pretty beat up. So I'm gonna replace these right now with some new ones I have in my container. All right, so same thing, I'll get those all set up and I'll get them all prepped. So that is all I keep in my IFAK. You'll be like, hey, it's pretty simple. Like, yeah, no, it is, right? I don't want a huge one necessarily on my person. We do have an aid and litter bag that we keep stowed in the APC, or if we're going out on target, one of the guys in the stack will have that, and that gets dropped at the breach point. So primary breach point, everyone knows there's an extremely large blowout bag that we can use for any sort of life-saving efforts there. One quick note I'll put into, I don't want to get in like, standard operating procedures a bunch because each team's going to be different. But most of the time, and if your team doesn't do this, let me know. Throw a note in the comments there, but your IFAK that's on your person is to be used on you. All right, so if you get shot, someone's gonna grab your IFAK off of you, right, and use it on you. So you wanna make sure your IFAK is up to date and set up correctly because your life actually depends on it. All right, a lot of times you'll see in training, guys will see a casualty on the ground. Let's say the threat's been mitigated. They'll see a patient on the ground, they'll go and they'll rip off their IFAK. Your IFAK is for you, all right? So just wanna make sure everyone's aware of that, at least for our team and kind of the training that we do up here in the Northeast. If you wanna have other IFAKs on you, great, right? So put those somewhere else and those are to be used on other people, right? Whether it's a Haley Strategic flat pack you wear, whether it's a Faro Concepts Roll 1, which is a nice little addition, can go up above your small of your back, wear it in the front. The Faro Concepts like mini dangler in the front works well too, or just any of your pockets, your cargo pockets in your cry pants. Very cheaply, you could take a freezer bag, Ziploc freezer bag, throw some of the extra medical stuff that you have in there, right? You can go a little cheap. You can grab just a like the $3 Z-Pack gauze or Quick Clot, whatever you want, whatever your price range is, right? And have some extra stuff on you to work on other patients, right? But again, that's what kind of those larger blowout bags are for. Spiritus Systems makes that nice backpack there as well. So again, it all depends on how many casualties you're treating and kind of also what your job is. So I would recommend, based on about almost 10 years now on the SWAT team, is like your IFAK is for you. Make sure it's all up to date. Make sure it's all organized because that's going to save your life. And carry some extra medical equipment or have easy access to extra medical equipment to save other people. All right, I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.